I started climbing when I was about 10 years old. I went to a birthday party at a climbing gym, actually, and I just loved it. I played, soccer and other sports as like when I was a kid, like any other kid. But when I found climbing, there was something special about it that I just loved.
You got into climbing at the birthday party, you said,
Yeah.
but one day there was a sponsor coming up. How did that change your life, kind of?
I started to climb outside more, and I randomly met this one climber who was sponsored by 510 at the time, and he was like, oh wow, I think you could also be sponsored by 510 if you like. So he introduced me to the people at 510, and I was like, oh wow, this is really interesting. Like I can get free shoes. And then that was where it all started for me. And then I think from that point forward, I started to understand that climbing was this whole world.
Nowadays there is Instagram, Facebook, all the internet. Did it change your relationship to the sponsors, and how did it change?
I think Instagram was a huge changing factor for climbing, because now all of a sudden the sponsors could see the direct correlation between an athlete and the engagement that that athlete receives towards their the different media that they put up. So all of a sudden, you have these big companies like North Face and Adidas and everything that are spending thousands and thousands of dollars every single month to track the engagement that their athletes have, and the click-throughs.
Do you feel like there is more pressure, like that you have to publish more and faster and do more stories to keep people busy and visiting your pages instead of the Instagram account?
So I think that it's a direct connection between the two. The sponsors are happy with good media and a good representation of your brand. So if you represent yourself well in 2018, then in 2019 you're going to have a better year, because your sponsors are going to support you better than they did before. So I think there's not necessarily a pressure from the sponsors, but it forces you to produce as much media as you can so that you can continue to live the lifestyle that you love and you want to continue living.
Again, about your life as a professional climber, you can choose if you want to sleep in, if you want to try your project today or tomorrow, if you want to have a rest there or not. How do you make sure you have some kind of structure in your life and you're not getting too lazy, or I don't know?
That's a good question. I feel like in general, I'm pretty structured with how just the person that I am, and I'm the type of person that if I have a job to do, I just want to get it done. And so if it's a project or editing a video or something like that, I don't push it off and say, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow or whatever. And I think that to get to the level of becoming a professional climber, you can't be lazy, because you have to train and you have to be strict about your regimen. And so I think a lot of the professional climbers, they're lazy in some aspects of their life, like we discussed before with Instagram or whatever. But I think when it really comes down to it, when it comes down to climbing something, they want to be the best that they can be. And so, I guess that's kind of a roundabout answer, but for me, I love climbing. I love video work, and I have no issue like training hard and going out there and climbing in the cold or making videos because that's what I love to do.